Very good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So we are back again with the CA analysis for 26 and 27 September. We will be covering the news. Please let me know if there is anyone. Is the audio and video clear? Anyone, please? Tell me, is the audio and video all clear? Anyone? All right, so I'm assuming it is all good. Let's begin with the analysis in the first section, which we have. ESI Finance and Business News. First important news is regarding UPI payments. I think we have discussed this news earlier as well. It was there, it has been there in the news. So your NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI, it has changed the UPI autopay framework. UPI autopay framework with the immediate effect. Now this UPI autopay framework which has been changed, what changes have been done and it applies to what? So basically the pre-debit notification or say 24 hours before any say debit, any charges which fall below the required amount has to be informed. Now this has been removed. So I think I have discussed this thing earlier as well. Let's see what is the news. So the new rule which says that auto replenishment of NETC FASTag. So basically your FASTag cards and all, you know that they are auto replenishable, right? If the amount falls short of the required limit. This auto replenishment and the RuPay National Common Mobility Card, these will no longer require the standard 24-hour pre-debit notification. As I told you earlier, with regard to your FASTag as well as the Common Mobility Card, any auto replenishment process has to be there. So it required 24-hour pre-debit notification for that. Okay, now it will not require. So basically what is the aim of these kind of actions? You see what is the aim of FASTag and National Common Mobility Card. FASTag has drastically reduced the logistical time and cost in India, right? It has helped in reducing the congestion at the toll taxes, etc. The Common Mobility Card also has seamlessly enabled the customers for their travel business or say travel related work as well as purchase related work. So common card, common mobility card, these are to ensure seamless flow of services. Now if these kind of things are there where you require 24-hour pre-debit notification to be there and all this process, it basically delays the seamless objective of these kind of initiatives, right? So now with this rule being eliminated, 24-hour pre-debit notification, it will ease out the process further, okay? And the UPI members, they are instructed to remove the pre-debit notification validation for UPI autopay executions related to these specific merchant codes. Now the new system, it allows for auto replenishment when the balance falls below a threshold, enhancing flexibility for the user. So when the balance falls short of the required threshold, it will be recharged, right, automatically. So auto replenishment will be there. It is going to significantly improve the user experience, you all know that. So that was the news. Simple, just remember 24-hour debit notification now not required. If you have FASTag and all, you must be knowing that, right? So this was the news. Next news which we have is Moodys. So Moodys, you all know, is a famous credit rating agency, right? So Moodys has revised its calendar year 2024 growth forecast for India. It has revised growth forecast for India. It has basically revised it in a positive manner. That is, earlier the estimation was 6.8%, but now it says it will be 7.1%. Because it is expecting India to grow in the Asia Pacific region. Okay. Also, for 2025, the growth forecast by Moody's is 6.5. So it has remained unchanged. No changes have been done in this regard, right? Next news we have is your Swiss financial services company, UBS Group, which is a Swiss-based financial services company, UBS Group. It has bought certain shares of the HDFC Bank, certain shares of the HDFC Bank for over 543 crores through the open market transaction. So remember this, through the open market transaction. What is this open market transaction? Open market transaction is basically when you buy and sell these shares and securities through the stock exchanges, right? So via open market transaction, it has purchased. Now what is the result? As a result, the shares or the stocks of the HDFC Bank, they have went up, right, recently. So this was the news. And UBS Group's particular arm is there, which is UBS Principal Capital Asia. UBS Principal Capital Asia, one of the arms of the UBS Group, it has basically purchased the shares of HDFC Bank. It is in a process to expand its reach in Indian banking system, financial system, with one of the largest private sector lender, right? So this was the news. Next thing, let's see. So next news which we have is with regard to the inflows of foreign capital. So you have bulk of net inflows from foreign portfolio investors. So basically the investors investing into Indian securities, we have bulk net inflows to Indian market in 2024. So for this, we have ranking. You have to remember this. This is important. The country from which we have received the maximum net inflows in terms of FPI, foreign portfolio, is the US. And the second is Singapore. So remember this, okay? Top regional flows into India in the calendar year 2024. So remember, US stands to be the top source of FPI net inflows in India. When I'm saying net inflows, that means what actually has accrued to India, right? After deducting the outflows. So US is top, then second is Singapore, and then third is Ireland, okay? So US, Singapore, and Ireland. Remember at least these three positions. Got that? So these two countries, they have contributed nearly 2 lakh crores in terms of net investment. Just remember this. US, Singapore, and then Ireland. Next news which we have is again regarding revision of the growth forecast. So earlier one which we have seen was by Moody's. Now this is by the OECD. OECD has revised India's financial year 2025 growth forecast again upward. So you see all these organizations, agencies like Moody's, OECD, earlier we have seen growth forecast as well. They are revising India's growth forecast positively. That is on an upward direction, right? It shows that Indian economy in the global scenario has a really positive outlook. So the investors, the other traders and all countries, the trading partners, they are very much positive about the economic growth because we are actually growing, right? We are all set to be one of the largest growing market. So OECD has revised India's financial year 25 growth forecast upward to 6.7%. Okay. Earlier it was 6.6%. Now it has been revised to 6.7%. Remember this. It says that India is to be fastest growing economy in 2024 and 2025. All right. So you see, for China it is 4.9, 4.5 for 2025, India 6.8, the global average you see 3.2, G20 ka 3.1, US ka 1.6. So India is set to be the fastest growing economy in 2025. That is really a great achievement for the economy, right? Surpassing China and US. India's growth forecast 6.8, China's only 4.5. So that is the news. Remember these. Next, also OECD, you must be knowing the Organization of for Economic Cooperation and Development is an international organization which is basically intergovernmental, so which aims to foster economic growth. Although India is not a member, but has been in touch with OECD for further multilateral cooperations and developments. Okay, next news. Zoho. Zoho basically a tech company it is. Zoho, a tech company, it has launched Vikra. It has launched Vikra, which is a seller app. Vikra, seller app on the ONDC network, as well as Zoho IoT, Internet of Things, which is a user-friendly and scalable low-code platform which will enable businesses to build and deploy custom IoT solutions. So basically, remember the company Zoho, which is a tech-based company. Zoho has launched this Vikra, which is seller app on the ONDC platform. What is this ONDC? Open Network for Digital Commerce. You all know this has been started by the government of India. Open Network for Digital Commerce. It is a way, as an open network, as the name only suggests, to engage the small businesses particularly. They are targeting the medium and small enterprises to onboard the platform and then sell their items, set up their online stores to sell out their items directly without the need of any intermediary, right? So to promote basically digital commerce, to provide equal opportunities in terms of digital commerce to all the businesses and sellers, which includes the MSEs, the MSMEs as well, right? Small and marginal SMEs as well, small and marginal enterprises. This seller app, Vikra, is also in line with this. It will enable the SMEs, etc., small businesses to set up their stores, right? This is the news. And one IoT is also there. So Internet of Things, it will enable businesses to integrate the IoT with their, to have IoT solutions integrated with their business procedures. This is the thing, okay? I hope this much is clear, everyone. Can anyone let me know? All clear? Yes or no? Do you have any doubts so far which we have discussed? ESI Finance News? Any doubts in which we have discussed so far? Yes, anyone? All right. So let's move on to the banking news now. Banking news. In the banking news, first you have SBI General Insurance. It has launched the SBI Health Super Top-Up. So like you have top-ups in your recharge plans for your mobiles, right? It is a top-up on the health insurance. It is a top-up on the health insurance, okay? So SBI General Insurance Health Super Top-Up. So it is on health insurance, remember that. It is a top-up plan designed as an economical and affordable option, supplementing over and above the basic health insurance policy. So you can get additional benefits. It will be in addition to the basic health insurance policy, right? Key features, if you look at it, are that the sum insured with this top-up will be ranging from 5 lakh to 4 crores. Now you can see. So it is a great initiative in terms of increasing the health insurance penetration. To all the IRDAI aspirants who are preparing for the upcoming examination, I'm telling you, this is important, okay? This is very, very important. Remember all these features. And you can also quote this example into your descriptive. The ESI portion which I'm teaching you in the ARDAI course, in which we have been discussing the insurance penetration and density challenges associated and the solutions so far, you can write this example that these kind of top-ups can also be there to incentivize customers and expand the insurance penetration in India. You can quote these examples. So also important for the phase 1 and the descriptive. Right? So remember, it will be providing you coverage from 5 lakhs to 4 crores. That is a huge range. Then long-term policy options, it will be up to 3 years. It will be there 3 years, remember. It also caters to high net worth individuals and families seeking extensive insurance coverage. So you see, basic health insurance plan, when we talk about insurance, we are talking about their affordability to the lower income strata. Okay, that is true, for which we have to reduce the ticket size or the premium amount. Only then it is affordable. But it is something apart from the basic health insurance, catering to the needs of the middle class or the lower strata as well. The high net worth individuals who can pay extra for it, and those who are willing and able to pay for it, and they want their health insurance to be extended, getting these additional benefits, it will be helpful. So this will give additional funds to the insurance giants and the market, and will help the insurance industry grow. So this example, I want you to write it down separately. You can use this in your descriptive answer writing. Okay. In challenges we have been discussing so far of insurance penetration density in India, you can give this kind of solution. This is the latest one. So please note it down. This is important. Next. Also you see premiums, they will be starting as low as 3,377 rupees for individuals aged between 18 to 35 years. So premiums are also less. So that means there is no question of affordability here. It can actually cater to the non-urban areas, isn't it? So I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next news. Again, you have NPCI, NIPL. NPCI is NIPL, which is NPCI International Payments Limited. This is basically a subsidiary. NPCI International Payments Limited is a subsidiary of your NPCI, which is working to expand the India's payment methods like UPI and platforms to be expanded to the global level. It is working with different countries for that. So NPCI, NIPL, it has entered into a strategic partnership with Ministry of Digital Transformation of Trinidad and Tobago. These two are the Caribbean countries, right? So Ministry of Digital Transformation of Trinidad and Tobago, which are the Caribbean nations. Now this partnership will result into what? They will try to integrate UPI and other payment methods from India, right? So aim is to develop real-time payment platforms similar to India's UPI. They will be developing payment platforms like UPI with the help of the NPCI and IPL in these nations. Also, remember, with this agreement, Trinidad and Tobago, they have become first Caribbean nations to adopt UPI. As I told you, these are the Caribbean nations. So they become Trinidad and Tobago. Remember these, this is important, right? Anything related to UPI is very, very important. You have seen the previous year questions of RBI and other examinations. So please remember two countries in news adopting UPI and related payment methods, Trinidad and Tobago. So they have become first Caribbean nations to adopt this thing. Just remember this, it is quite important. Clear? Let's move ahead with the next set of news. Is anyone there? Can you please let me know? Are you getting all these things? All right, let's move ahead. So this was the news. Then you have just a fact, you can go through it. IDFC First. So IDFC First Bank has completed its merger with IDFC Limited. It is effective from October 1 following necessary approvals. So remember, this merger has been there recently. It has completed its merger, has started working effectively from 1st October 2024. So IDFC First Bank and IDFC Limited. Okay, if I ask you IDFC First Bank, it was there in the CBDC pilot projects. Tell me, anyone? The RBI's CBDC pilot project, for which it has enabled certain banks to provide these digital currencies, was IDFC First there? If you remember, recall the classes on CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Was it there in the list, IDFC First Bank? Are you able to recall? apart from other banks? If you can recall, you can give me the names. Okay. All right, let's move ahead with the next set of news. I'll be waiting for your answers. Next is Punjab National Bank has raised 5,000 crores via qualified institutions placement. So again, QIP is in news, qualified institutions placement. Your PNB has raised 5,000 crores via QIP. So you need not remember the figure as such. If you can, that is okay. But more importantly, you should understand what is QIP here. Okay, so you all know QIP is basically when you raise your funds via selling these securities to the qualified institutional buyers, right? Issue of securities to the qualified institutional buyers. So this is an important fundraising tool for your listed companies, which was introduced by SEBI. Okay, because they have enough capital, they have expertise as well. They have enough capital and expertise, these buyers. So these qualified institutions they include your mutual funds, pension funds, right, insurance funds, etc. So all these funds are there, they have capital, they have expertise. So it is a good way for the listed companies to raise funds from. So remember this. Next. Bank of India has launched 400-day retail term deposit. Remember, this is important. So 400 days, you know, retail. So retail segment loan it will be. Term deposit plan has been introduced by Bank of India. You see, 400 days. Okay. Retail term deposit it will be. It is quite attractive. That's why it is important, which will offer you competitive interest rates as well. So 7.3% will be the interest offered on these deposits on callable deposits. Callable deposits which can be withdrawn prematurely, right? And 7.45% on the non-callable one, which cannot be withdrawn with before the maturity or the decided timeline. In, you know, exceptional cases you can do it, except certain circumstances, but generally you cannot. So 7.3 on callable deposits it will offer, and 7.45, remember, on non-callable. Now, can you connect this thing to the present Indian banking scenario? So if you are writing, say, descriptive phase 2 of RBI and then IRDAI, if you see any question like this, or in RBI phase 2, it is going to be very helpful. How can you relate it? So these kind of news and examples, you know, you can integrate very effectively into your answer writing. You can quote this into any question related to, say, deposit or credit deposit ratio in India. We have discussed the FSR and the other reports. So particularly in FSR, I have told you that credit rates are higher, but then deposit rates are not, right? So we need to encourage people to deposit further. Although we are in a safer zone, but we are very close to cross that limit when credit creation will be higher, but then there will be a huge gap between credit ratio and the deposit ratio. How will you fund your credits? How will you extend loan then if you don't have enough deposits? So this is the thing. Now in that case, you can write these kind of examples in your answers, that these kind of steps are being taken, recently seen in news. That would be very effective. Agree or not? Right? So you see 7.45% on non-callable have been offered. Why not on callable deposits? More you see on non-callable one, because they want people to bring money and then put into these deposits so that the banking system has enough liquidity. Understood? So remember this. Now also remember this plan will be available to, of course, Indian residents, but also available to the non-resident external and non-resident ordinary depositors. So all those NRI depositors depositing their money into these accounts, non-resident external and non-resident ordinary account, which are foreign, which are NRI deposits, different categories of accounts are there. It is also extendable to them. Now, what is the difference between NRE and NRO broadly? Broadly, the difference is in non-resident external account, you manage your funds in Indian currency, which you have earned from outside India. Got this point? In non-resident ordinary account, you manage whatever you have earned within Indian boundary only. Remember, this is the broad difference. So NRO manages these additional incomes, like any profit you have earned, any dividend you have earned within India only. So this is the difference. It will be extendable to these account holders. Also, under the non-callable deposit, the minimum deposit limit is there, which is 1 crore. So under non-callable deposits, you have to deposit minimum amount of 1 crore. Remember this threshold, minimum amount of 1 crore. This is only for the non-callable one, not there for the callable one. I hope this is clear, right? Now, this was the banking news. These were certain important news. And simultaneously, I'm telling you how to integrate them because phase 2 is approaching. So you can utilize this knowledge. Next, national and state news category. Let's see what news do we have. In the national and state news category, the first one which you have is a team from your National Institute of Mountaineering and Adventure Sports. So NIMAS, as we know, this team has successfully scaled the unnamed and so far uncharted peak. Unnamed and so far uncharted peak, which is nearly 25,000 feet high mountain peak in Himalayan ranges of Gori chain, Arunachal Pradesh. So this high peak has been there in the news. They have scaled this peak. It has been scaled by a team from National Institute of Mountaineering and Adventure Sports. Now, since it was unnamed earlier, so they have named it as Sangyang Gyatso Peak. As Sangyang Gyatso Peak. Now, this name is in honor of 6th Dalai Lama, Rigzane Sangyang Gyatso. So, 6th Dalai Lama was there. 6th Dalai Lama, Ringzane, Sangyang and Gyatso. Dalai Lama, you all know, is associated with the Buddhist sect, right? So, this was in honor of the 6th Dalai Lama. Remember the new name given to the peak, Sangyang Gyatso Peak. And remember in which Himalayan range is it there? Located in Gori chain, Himalayan range in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Next news which you have is University of Wollongong will be one of the first Australian universities to start its courses at Gift City of Gujarat. So this is again important. University of Wollongong from Australia going to be one of the first, not first, one of the first universities from Australia to start courses as Gift City. Gift City, you all know, a famous initiative which is working in the fields of finance and tech. So it will be starting its course at Gift City, Gujarat from November 2024. Now these will include postgraduate courses, okay. Initially 50 students in each course will be there. And the courses will be there from data analytics to computing to financial technology to financial masters in financial technology as well, certified financial technology. So all these courses which are the required skills presently, all these courses which are the required skills. Also remember then who has been the first one, your Deakin University. Deakin University from Australia is the first international university in the world to open a teaching campus in Gift City, Gujarat. So in entire world, if there is one single university to open up the first premises in Gift City, is Deakin again from Australia. So just remember this. Next news. Which we have is that the central government has announced an increase in minimum wage rates by revising the variable dearness allowance. So DA has been variable dearness allowance. It has been revised again, right? And with this revision, the central government has announced increase in the minimum wage rates. Dearness allowance, you all must be knowing, is adjustment. It gives you, it reflects the adjustment into the inflation. So when inflation is there, when the prices are rising, your actual or the real wage, that is how much purchasing power do you have out of the money which is there in your pocket, that actually declines. So purchasing power declines. To compensate that, you get these dearness allowances. Now they have been revised, which has resulted into revision of minimum wage rate in various categories by the central government. It is effective from 1st October, and the minimum wage rates, they are categorized on skill levels: unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled, highly skilled, right? As well as by geography. So these are the categories in which they have announced these revised rates. You have geographical areas, ABCD, not D, only C, ABC, and then you have skill levels: unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled, or highly skilled. So let's see after the revision. These are important, just remember. Minimum wage rate in area A. Area A में minimum wage rate will be in, say, construction, sweeping, cleaning, loading, unloading में. For unskilled work, it will be 783 a day. Semi-skilled के लिए 868 rupees a day. Skilled clerical skilled clerical and watch and wards without arms के लिए 954 a day, and with arms के लिए it will be rupees 1035 a day. Okay. So remember this thing. And you know that this variable dearness allowance, government basically revises it twice a year. Okay. And on what basis do we revise it? So inflation, what indexes data are we referring to when we are adjusting the wages of these employees and workers for inflation? This is CPI based inflation. You all must be knowing. And you all must be knowing, I have told you that CPI based inflation is only being used by RBI as well for its inflation targeting. So for inflation targeting as well, CPI inflation is used. For dearness allowance adjustments, CPI based inflation is used, right? Or data is used. Inflation data, consumer price index, which has your inflation related information in your goods as well as services. So it gives you the data on inflation in goods as well as services, while WPI gives you inflation data only in the goods, not in services, right? So remember this. Next, okay, just give me a second. All right. Let's move with the next set of news. Next, you have Minister of Communications Jyotiraditya Scindia inaugurated 5G ARA testing lab at the Center for Development of Telematics, Bengaluru. So several initiatives have been there in this series. First, remember, a 5G ARA testing lab has been inaugurated at Bengaluru. Now, what is this? You know, these terminologies are related to your telecommunications, communications industry. ORAN basically is Open Radio Access Network. ORAN enables interoperability. That means your hardware, devices, whatever you have related to this sector, as well as your software devices. They will be able to interoperate, right? Even if they are manufactured by different manufacturers. So this kind of setup is there with under 5G network. This is ORAN. So this has been established at Bengaluru. Okay. It is going to benefit the startups and academia and the industries because of the interoperability, as I told you. Also remember, he has also inaugurated the Tejas Center of Excellence for Wireless Communications again at Bengaluru only. So remember the location and the name. He has also inaugurated Tejas Center of Excellence for Wireless Communications. Tejas Center of Excellence for Wireless Communications at Bengaluru. Also, he has launched the company's indigenously designed 3232R massive MIMO radio capable of delivering 1+ Gbps download speeds using 5G mid-band spectrum. So this thing has also been launched, 32T32R massive MIMO radio. What is MIMO radio? These kind of radios. So MIMO here is multiple input, multiple output. MIMO here stands for multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So it can get multiple inputs and delivers outputs, multiple outputs. So it is capable of doing this thing. So just remember all these news, need not go in so much depth. Just understand what is it and just remember the data. Next news which we have is that in effort to boost tourism, India now will expand its airports network to 350 airports by 2047. This has been there informed by the Civil Aviation Minister. Currently, if you see number of airports in India presently 157. So our aim is to build 350 airports at least by 2047. 350 airports by 2047. So we want to establish at least 350 airports by 2047. Remember this and remember the present number of airports 157. I hope this is clear. Next. So Union Minister for Ports and Shipping has informed that shipbuilding and ship repair clusters will be established in 5 states. So they want to establish shipbuilding and ship repair clusters, okay, in 5 states. The states which are extensively associated with, ship cargo, they are catering to the needs of cargo. So Maharashtra, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Gujarat, you see a lot of shipment is exported from there. A lot of cargo is exported from these states, right? So Maharashtra, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha as well as Gujarat. Remember these 5 states, name of these 5 states? These clusters will be set up here. Also, your JNPA, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority, it will scale up its handling capacity from 6.6 million to 10 million. It is also going to scale its capacity, and then 3,900 acres of land has been allocated to Deen Dayal Port Authority and V. Chidambana Port Trust. You know, we have discussed these names, V. Chidambana Port Trust as well in Tamil Nadu, for setting up of hydrogen manufacturing hubs here. Okay, so hydrogen manufacturing hubs will also be integrated into these ports. Remember the name? Deen Dayal Port Authority, Deen Dayal Port Authority and V. Chidambana Port Trust. Here, the hydrogen manufacturing hubs will also be set up. Also, the International Container Transshipment Port, ICTP, at Galatia Bay in your Great Nicobar Islands, it will also be there working as a major transshipment hub. So it will also serve as a major transshipment hub. Remember that. These efforts are in line to encourage the exports via the waterways as well. Okay, it is going to help India in overall trade with other nations. So just remember, and remember this is important, international container transshipment port at Galatia Bay, Great Nicobar Islands. Next news which we have is Ministry of Tourism has launched Incredible India Content Hub on the revamped Incredible India digital portal. So Ministry of Tourism has launched Incredible India Content Hub, a content hub on the digital portal. Which content hub it is there? So it is reflective of its aim. It will be kind of a repository, where digital repository of tourism related information, which will feature a rich collection of high quality images, films, brochures, newsletters related to tourism in India. This is to promote and expand the scope of tourism industry. Clear? Also, this content hub which has been created is a result of collaborative efforts between multiple organizations, which also includes your Ministry of Tourism, your Archaeological Survey of India, Ministry of Culture, and others. So remember, this is a multilateral cooperation. And Incredible India digital portal is a tourist-centric, one-stop digital solution to enable travel experience of visitors to India. It is already there, this portal. Now this content hub will be created on this portal. Next thing. So next news you have is again from Tourism Ministry. It has launched a national responsible team, tourism initiative, not team, by the name of Paratan Mitra and Paratan Didi. What is the aim? So this is important, remember, Paratan Mitra and Paratan Didi. This is to enable tourism as a vehicle of social inclusion and economic progress. So basically making tourists responsible tourism initiative. You know, whether it is a foreign tourist or we as tourists or Indian tourists, they are going to some places to visit on a tour, they are going. So we have to be responsible to that place as well. You see, wherever we go, be it a sacred place or some other places, there's a lot of litter surrounding that place, right? One such issue which is there highlighted by all the countries. Apart from that, you have to be responsible. You can be responsible for the economic growth, right? So making tourism responsible for more inclusive growth, more economic growth. This is the purpose. You have to be responsible. You are going somewhere, so you have a responsibility to that place as well. This is the basic idea. And you know, for this, Ministry of Tourism has piloted Paratan Mitra and Paratan Didi in 6 tourist destinations. So in India, 6 tourist destinations made is there as a pilot project. So one, Orcha, very important tourist destination. Orcha ki chhatriyan, they are very famous from Madhya Pradesh, right? Their architecture, color, is quite famous for. So Orcha in Madhya Pradesh, then you have Gandhi Kota in or from Andhra Pradesh. Bodh Gaya, of course, very auspicious place from Bihar. Aizawl, Mizoram. Jodhpur, the blue city and the city of forts. So Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And then you have Sri Vijayapuram from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So here, this has been piloted. Remember, Paratan Mitra and Paratan Didi. Next, what we have is Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has inaugurated Oxygen Bird Park along the Nagpur Hyderabad National Highway 44 in Nagpur, Maharashtra. Oxygen Bird Park. Remember this? Oxygen Bird Park or Amrit Mahotsav Park at Nagpur, Hyderabad, Highway 44 in Nagpur, Maharashtra. Of course, it is an eco-friendly initiative which is developed by the National Highways Authority of India, and it is spread in total area of 8.2 hectares. Just go through this. Just go through this. Oxygen Bird Park. Location is again important. Now, what can be the aim of this park? See, around your national highways and these kind of highways, the problem is a lot of deterioration, pollution, right? So the broader aim of these kind of initiatives is basically this park, oxygen park, that would mean you will be planting those trees which are very much helpful in enhancing the oxygen content. Are you getting my point, right? So these kind of initiatives, they help in developing ecosystem across or surrounding these expressways and highways. Clear? So such kind of trees will be planted and such kind of trees will be there. Also, birds will be there. Recreation activities will be there. It will help in, if trees are there, you need not, I need not tell you this thing, if trees are there, birds will be there, right? So overall ecosystem conservation will be there. Just remember this. Next news which we have, let's see, is Prime Minister has inaugurated the high performance computing system. High performance computing system which is there for weather and climate research. So India, if you have been following the developments in terms of climate change, you must be knowing India is actually advancing in its climate research and weather updates as well as data streaming and then data analytics, dissemination of data. This is actually helpful for disaster resilience, also for farmers, for the agriculture sector. So it is quite useful. You can integrate all these news with these kind of questions or schemes if they are. So it is designed for weather and climate research, and these systems are named as, remember the name, these are important, ARCA and Arunika. ARCA and Arunika. So who are ARCA and Arunika? These are the high performance computer systems related to weather and climate change. So basically these names, you know, are related to the nature only, their connection to Surya, the sun, and the primary energy source of the earth system. Now, what are the locations of ARCA and Aranyaka? These are launched at IIT, or say, sorry, not IIT, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology at Pune. So Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology at Pune. So one location is there. And then National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting at Noida. So you have two locations here, Pune and Noida, where these ARCA and Arunika have been there. You can remember ki ARCA and Arunika, these two are the persons, they live in Pune and Noida, right? By this you can remember. Just try to remember like this. I give you hint in between my classes because there is a lot to mug up in all these examinations, right? Create some mnemonics and own way of mugging up the facts. So this is the thing. Also, they are acquired by your Ministry of Earth Sciences. So remember, the ministry associated is Ministry of Earth Sciences, and this is a good initiative. Pune, Noida, ARCA and Arunika. Just remember. All right, then moving to the next news. Indian textile sector is aiming to reach $300 billion by 2030. If you are following the CA regularly, you must be observing that the textile ministry is also expanding its scope. Textile clusters establishment, right? Our own fashion book Paridhi 24-25, if you recall the previous classes, these kind of initiatives. So we are expanding the textile industry of India and we want to integrate it into the global supply chain. Okay. We, as a textile industry, want to expand the production by 300 billion US dollars in value terms. Okay. And the current value is $175 billion. Next, so this was the national news. I hope all these news are clear to everyone, right? No doubt so far. Let's begin with the state news category. Let's see what all are the news items. In the state news, first one you have is Odisha government has announced extension of maternity and paternity leave benefits. Okay, so Odisha government has announced maternity and paternity leave benefits extension to its employees opting for surrogacy. This is a great step and unconventional as well. You see a lot of debate going around surrogacy. I hope you all know what is surrogacy, right? So surrogacy, there are different practices worldwide. In India, different laws are there, international laws are there. So now any parent opting for surrogacy as a method of conceiving, the paternity and maternity benefits will be extended by Odisha government for surrogacy as well. That means that shows states' support towards surrogacy, right? So this is the thing. These kind of topics, can be in the essay, surrogacy and all. These are prominent topics related to essays. So there you can utilize this information that state is now the earlier existing boundaries, the distance between a state and the concept of surrogacy are now actually getting diluted with these kind of examples. You can integrate them in a well presentable manner. Okay. So this is the thing. And then female employees opting for surrogacy, they will be eligible for 180 days of maternity leave and the paternity leave will be 15 days. Okay, within 6 months of the child's birth. So female employees will be eligible for 180 days of maternity leaves and for paternity leaves to the male employees 15 days immediately from the or within the 6 months of the child's birth. 15 days. Next state news, Delhi government has introduced 1-year mandatory service bond for medical students passing out from All India quota and state quota. All India quota and state quota say all those students passing out, Delhi government has made 1-year mandatory service bond. Okay, in both the UG as well as PG programs from the medical institutions in India. The students now will be required to serve for 1 year in medical institutions under the government of NCT of Delhi. Because you get admission to these quotas, but then you don't serve the departments. So it is to retain such a students with the government health service providing mechanism, it is there. And the UG students will have to furnish a bond of rupees 15 lakh, while PG students, super specialty students will submit a bond of rupees 20 lakh. Just go through this news, this is important. So just go through this fact. Then next news is 12th edition of Kerala Travel Mart 2024. 12th edition of Kerala Travel Mart 2024 is being organized at Sagar Samudrika Convention Center at Wellington Island in Kochi. Yes, it's a great step, So next news which we have is, just remember, Kerala Travel Mart is being organized at Sagar Samudrika Convention Center, Wellington in Kochi. Okay. There will be conferences, there will be exhibitions, incentives, meetings and all related to tourism. Okay. Next is Maharashtra government has signed MOUs with 4 companies in the green energy sector. Okay, so let's see. The aim is basically to achieve center's ambitious target of zero carbon emission by 2070. To achieve zero carbon emission by 2070, this has been done. And also producing 50% renewable energy by 2030. These targets, if you remember, have been there in the Panchamrit targets set out by the budget, right? Not this year's budget, but earlier. So Panchamrit targets are also a part of, so 50% renewable energy by 2030 has to be produced, then zero carbon emission by 2070. With this regard, Maharashtra government is signing pacts with companies working into green energy segment. Next news is from Telangana government. It will open up a Pravasi Prajavani counter in Hyderabad to address the grievances of Gulf workers and NRIs. This is a great initiative. Indeed, Gulf workers and NRIs, you see, there are a lot of grievances. People from India, they go to the Gulf countries for employment opportunities, right? And other NRIs. So any grievance redressal they need to seek will be facilitated via this counter. Okay. According to this counter or on this counter, this Pravasi Prajavani will operate every Wednesday and Friday. It will be operating every Wednesday and Friday, providing a platform for the expatriate workers and their families to seek assistance and solutions for their problems. So these kind of initiatives, they are actually needed, right, to ensure safety and timely cooperation and grievance redressal to Indian diaspora out there. They are all part of Indian diaspora, isn't it? So this is a great initiative. Next news. Karnataka government has launched Queen City or Cave-in City as a project expected to transform state's business landscape. Like you have Gift City, so Cave-in City going to be there, or it has launched, so it is going to be established in Karnataka. If you see, it will be located between Dabaspet and Doda Balapur, and the 4 key pillars of this city where they will be working under this project will be knowledge, health, innovation and research. Knowledge, health, innovation and research. They will be integrating knowledge, health, innovation and R&D will be promoted into this. Okay. The city also plans to implement meticulously designed intra and inter-transport systems to reduce congestion with seamless connectivity through the Bengaluru-Hubballi-Mumbai Express rail route and proximity to the national highways 44 and 648. Just remember that there is this rail route, Bengaluru-Hubballi-Mumbai Express rail route. This is there, and then Cave-in City wants to foster the R&D in terms of health and knowledge systems. This was about the state news category. Next is the international news category. In the international one, first news which you have is Hurricane Helene. Hurricane Helene has struck or has made a landfall in Florida, Northwest Florida, US. Okay, and category 4 storm it is, which is a powerful storm. Maximum speeds were 225 kilometers per hour. You need not remember these speeds. You just remember recently Hurricane Helene has struck which coast and which country. So Florida coast, USA. Just remember this much, nothing else is important. Next news which we have is India and Indonesia. They commemorate 75th anniversary of establishment of their diplomatic ties. So India and Indonesia established or celebrated 75th anniversary of India-Indonesia diplomatic relations. India-Indonesia diplomatic relations. With this regard, they have organized various activities to celebrate this. Next news in the international segment, India was elected to the 15, this is important, India elected to the 15-member steering committee, 15-member steering committee of the Global Operational Network of Anti-Corruption Law Enforcement Authorities, which is Globe Network. You have to remember this. This is important. So India has been elected to Globe Network. Globe Network. Okay. If you see the total number of countries are there, member countries 129 and total member authorities are 219 associated with it. If you see this organizational structure of this steering committee of Globe Network, it has one chairperson, then one vice chairperson and other members, 13 members. India was elected to the steering committee after a multi-stage voting process in Beijing. There are several authorities from different countries working towards it. So from India, Ministry of Home Affairs is the central authority. Just remember, from India, Ministry of Home Affairs is the central authority for Globe Network. Also CBI and Enforcement Directorate, CBI and ED, they represent India as member authorities. Okay, so this is important. MHA is the central authority for Globe Network, and the member authorities which will be representing India will be CBI and ED. Now, of course, Globe Network works towards anti-corruption law enforcement and ensuring transparency in different functionalities of governments and non-government departments as well, right? So this was the thing. Remember, this is important. 15-member steering committee, India has been elected, and voting process was done in Beijing. Remember the location. Let's see the next international news which is there. So the Shah Alam Stadium, located in Malaysia, has been demolished following safety concerns and years of poor maintenance. This is there. So Shah Alam Stadium in Malaysia, okay, has been demolished. Now it will be replaced by Shah Alam Sports Complex. Not very much important, just remember the news, okay, and the country. Now in the MOUs and mergers, let's see what all MOUs or mergers or acquisitions have been there. First, CCI has granted a nod to Singapore-based Tiga Investments proposal to acquire a stake in Dream 11. Dream 11's parent company, Dream Sports. So, you know Dream 11, right? Youth right now is very much fascinated about Dream 11. So, just remember that CCI has approved the Tiga, Singapore-based Tiga Investments proposal to acquire a stake in Dream 11's parent company, Dream Sports Inc. Next, Inter-American Development Bank and the United Nations Development Program, they have signed an agreement that will help the collection and sharing of critical climate weather data, advancing effort to support climate adaptation and coordination in Latin America and Caribbean. So this is a great agreement. Inter-American Development Bank and UNDP, they have signed an agreement. Now, this agreement will result into sharing of climate and weather related data that will enhance the climate related data dissemination in these countries, Latin American countries and the Caribbean countries as well, helping them mitigate the risks from hurricanes, etc. Okay. Initial grant will be there, and they will implement SOFF program starting in Belize. Okay, so what is this SOFF? It is Systematic Observations Financing Facility. this systematic observations financing facility. SOFF is important. You can remember this was established basically to fund these kind of projects. Observations related to climate and weather data, information related to climate and weather data. So this SOFF, which is a funding mechanism, was established in 2021 by our World Meteorological Organization, UNDP and UNEP. So remember the organizations as well. WMO, UNDP and UNEP, they have jointly established the systematic observations financing facility. So following Belize, the projects then will be rolled out in Bahamas, Barbados, Ecuador, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago. So these are the Caribbean islands, you know. Next we have is, I think, yes, Amazon India has signed an MOU Next MOU is regarding Amazon India. Amazon India has signed an MOU with Ministry of Labor and Employment to utilize the National Career Service Portal. National Career Service Portal of the Ministry. Because utilizing this portal, as you all know, a famous initiative launched by Ministry of Labor and Employment, National Career Service Portal, the Amazon India wants to utilize this to post the available work opportunities at Amazon and its staffing agencies. Okay, it will enable job seekers across India to view work opportunities with Amazon, and also it will help Amazon to have its staffing agencies post job openings via this portal. Okay, NCS portal. So you can access this portal. The job seekers as well as those job providers are there out there in the market. So remember, Amazon India wants to access NCS portal. Next, Central Institute of Hotel Management has entered into a dedicated MOU with 8 leading national and global hospitality groups. So it basically wants to go global. It wants to have hospitality and skill in India, or to go global with Indian hospitality and skill in India for the world in tourism and hospitality. So which all are these 8 leading hospitality groups with which the Central Institute of Hotel Management has signed this MOU? So Indian Hotels Company Limited, IHG Hotels and Resorts, Marriott International, a very big chain, right? And Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, the Lalit Group, again very famous hotels chain. ITC again very famous chain. Then you have PJ Surendra Park Hotels, then you have Radisson. So Marriott, Radisson, the Lalit, ITC, you all know these names, right? Lemon Tree Hotels, all these 8 leading hospitality groups, it has signed this agreement. Okay. Just remember this. Then you have the bilateral investment treaty between Government of India and Republic of India and the Government of Republic of Uzbekistan was signed at Tashkent. So a bilateral investment treaty signed between government from India, Uzbekistan. Okay. Now this has been signed by Union Minister of Finance, Nirmala Sitharaman, and H.E. Khorjaev Jamshid, the counterpart Deputy Prime Minister of Uzbekistan. This is basically to boost confidence of investors by assuring minimum standard of treatment and non-discrimination while providing for independent forum of dispute settlement through arbitration. So they want basically to improve the investment and the business ties between the countries, also providing the investors with minimum standard of treatment with no discrimination, right? So it is going to enhance the business and trade ties between Uzbekistan and India. Then next we have is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MeitY. MeitY and Military College of Telecommunications Engineering, they have formalized their partnership. This partnership is basically to foster innovation and technical advancements for defense applications. Okay, they will be developing products for military use simply. Next thing, Tech Mahindra has signed a pact with New Zealand's University of Auckland for research and innovation in artificial intelligence. So Tech Mahindra with New Zealand's University of Auckland has signed a pact for more research and innovation in AI, ML, so AI and ML, quantum computing, etc. Next, Infosys has collaborated with Polestar, which is a Swiss-based electric performance car brand, to create a base for Polestar's development of in-car infotainment, software, and electrics or electronics engineering, user experience, and cloud-powered digital services. So they will be collaborating to provide all these services to Polestar, which is Swedish electric performance car brand. Okay. And Infosys will be establishing a global technology hub for this Polestar at Bengaluru to provide these services. Okay, at its development center in Bengaluru. This will help in extending these services agreed upon under the pact. Next, MOUs in the series. Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka governments, they have entered into MOU to establish a framework for cooperation between forest departments. So basically it is to address the wildlife and forest management in these states. Next news which we have is Citigroup. Citigroup has partnered for 25 billion US dollars private credit and direct lending platform, illustrating a growing alliance between banks and non-banks looking for a slice of lucrative $2 trillion market out there. So Citigroup, has partnered with Apollo to form this private credit fund. So this is an alliance between a bank and a non-bank. Now, what is a private credit? Basically, loans provided by non-bank lenders. You should remember this concept when we say private credit, this is basically loan by non-bank lenders, not by private banks, okay? Non-bank lenders. Private credit does not mean credit extended by private banks. Private credit means credit extended by your non-banking lenders like this Apollo, which is there in the news. Also, there are other entities also going to participate. So, your Abu Dhabi Wealth Fund, Mubadala Investment Company, and Apollo's Annuity and Retirement Services Unit, Athene, they are also going to partner in this initiative to extend this much private credit. So this was about the MOUs and mergers. You need not go in detail with them. Just remember the purpose and the merger or MOU which has been signed. Now, science tech and defense category mein, first is science tech. So science tech mein we have Prime Minister virtually launched 3 Param Rudra supercomputing systems. Now, this is very important. Prime Minister has launched 3 Param Rudra supercomputing systems. Okay. So, where they have been launched? Delhi, Pune and Kolkata. First of all, remember the location. Delhi, Pune and Kolkata. So, 3 Param Rudra supercomputing systems, supercomputers have been launched. So, just remember, in Pune, it is Giant Metro Radio Telescope. It will utilize the supercomputer It is stationed there, so it is going to utilize the supercomputer to study fast radio bursts and other astronomical phenomena. Supercomputers, you know, are designed in such a manner they help you in these kind of complicated tasks which cannot be performed by the PCs which we have, right? So first, when we are talking about Delhi, it will be there available as a facility to Giant Metro Radio Telescope in Pune, Giant Meter Radio Telescope in Pune. It will be utilizing this facility for astronomical purposes, and then Inter-University Accelerator Center at Delhi will be using this for advanced research in fields like material science and atomic physics. So in Delhi, it will be utilized for these purposes, as well as in Kolkata, Asen Bose Center, it will be placed, Asen Bose Center, it will be utilizing this computer for advanced research in areas including physics, cosmology, and earth sciences again. So remember the application, remember the locations, Delhi, Pune, and Kolkata, and the places where they will be utilized or installed. Aim, of course, to boost India's scientific research capabilities, and it is going to add to India's scientific research or R&D capabilities a lot, right? Param Rudra series, as you must be knowing, under the MeitY, it is there, and Department of Science and Technology, it is there. They are developed by your National Supercomputing Mission, or developed under the National Supercomputing Mission. Also, because it is a new, so this static portion becomes important. Under this mission, where we want to develop the supercomputers indigenously, under this mission, the first indigenously assembled supercomputer, which was it? So it was named as Param Shivai. It was inducted at IIT BHU in 2019. Remember, IIT BHU में 2019 में Param Shivai was installed, first in the series of this mission. Then in the defense, you have your DRDO is set to launch first of its kind initiative to remodel its research program. DRDO is basically trying to enhance its R&D capabilities. It is funding 5 high-value deep tech innovation projects to develop its capabilities in deep tech. Deep tech, you all know, AI, ML, etc., right? Utilizes all these things. So deep tech, it is funding high-value projects. Each project, when we say high value, each project has been allocated a maximum of 50 crores. Aim, of course, is indigenization of defense products. Okay. Indigenization of defense products. Also remember, when we are talking about indigenization, there is this term called positive indigenization list. Positive indigenization list. If they ask you what is positive indigenization list, it is related to defense acquisition, where the government acquires defense items, equipments which are indigenously manufactured only. So this list tells that these are the items which government is going to acquire, or defense ministry is going to acquire, which are only indigenously built. Positive indigenization list. It is there, right? Next. So your Tata Advanced Systems is establishing defense manufacturing plant in Morocco. So Casablanca, Morocco mein, the Tata Advanced Systems is going to establish a defense manufacturing plant. This is a great initiative, right? It is going to be India's first overseas defense factory. This is very, very important. Just remember this, okay, for all the objective type questions in the upcoming examinations. This is going to be first foreign defense factory from India. It is going to produce wheeled armored platforms developed by DRDO for the Moroccan armed forces. Also, serving the broader African market for that purpose. So remember, Casablanca, Morocco में Tata Advanced Systems launching first overseas defense factory from India. Then next we have is the indices and rankings category. Just give me a second. All right. So next in the indices and rankings category, let's see what all is there. So first you have LinkedIn's top Indian startups 2024. So Zepto has become first startup in the country to cross $1 billion valuation mark and also leads as LinkedIn's top Indian startup of 2024. Zepto, the e-grocery startups. All these students out there who are residing away from their home states or families here in Delhi for preparation. Zepto के जो bags होते हैं, they will be there in the rooms, right? So Zepto actually has increased its reach and given a stiff competition to Blinkit. Okay, so Zepto, remember, tops the LinkedIn's top Indian startup of the year 2024 ranking. Also, the founders of Zepto, Kevalya Vohra and Adit Palicha, they have emerged as the youngest billionaires in India, okay, with net worth of 3,600 crores and 4,300 crores respectively, according to Hurun Rich List. So remember, according to Hurun Rich List, youngest billionaires from India are the founders of Zepto as well. Then if you see the list of top 10 Indian startups of 2024, so first of course is Zepto, then next is Sprinto, then Lucidity, then GrowthX, then Jar, then Wingy, then SourceBay, then Biofuel Circle, Super Sourcing and Battery Smart. Zepto, you know, is headquartered at Mumbai. Next, India rises to 39th place in Global Innovation Index. This is important. Remember the rank. You all know that these indexes are important. So in the Global Innovation Index 2024, which is released by World Intellectual Property Organization, so WIPO, India has ranked 39. Also remember the pillars of this index on which basis it assesses the countries. Pillars are important. They can ask you in the exams. Institutions related to innovation, human capital and research, infrastructure, market sophistication in terms of research, business sophistication, knowledge and technology outputs, and creative input. So 7 pillars are there under Global Innovation Index. Okay, this was 17th edition, remember? And who are the top 5 nations in this? Switzerland has topped the index. Remember these countries, they are also important. So top country, top 5 countries, you see Switzerland has topped. So Switzerland, then Sweden, then you have US, then Singapore, and then UK. Switzerland, Sweden, US, Singapore, and UK. And this ranking, this position by Switzerland, it has been held for the 14th consecutive year. Remember, this is not the first time that Switzerland is on the top, okay? So please remember Switzerland, 14th consecutive year. So this figure 14th also becomes important. 2023 mein, India's rank was 40th, so we have improved, okay, with 39th rank, and the score is 38.3. All right, and India's ranking in different categories, if you see here, so innovation economies by income group, India is there in lower middle income group, India is there, and innovation economies by region mein, India is there in the lead in the central and southern economic regions, right? So India is leading the lower middle income group in terms of innovation by income group, if you see. In terms of innovation by region, so in central and southern region, India is leading. Then India, along with Moldova and Vietnam, has led as the longest standing innovation overperformers over the 14th consecutive year. So for the 14th consecutive year, they have been the longest standing innovation overperformers. So in the case of innovation performance, they have been improving continuously. Then if you see Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Chennai, they are listed among world's top 100 S&T clusters. Remember, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Chennai. Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore and Chennai, they are listed among world's top 100 science and tech clusters, right? And if you see intangible assets, in the intangible assets, India's rank is 7th globally. Intangible assets like intellectual property and all, 7th rank globally. So remember 39th rank and then 7th rank in the intangible assets. Also remember the fastest climbers over the past decade who have shown recovery fastest are China, Turkey, India is also among them, Vietnam and Philippines. Also India is 4th in WIPO, Science and Tech Cluster ranking, okay? And which are the science and tech clusters from India? Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore and Chennai, remember. And India's rank is 4th. Then you have the Huron India under 35 list for 2024. Okay, Huron India under 35, so young billionaires and all, it gives the lists. According to it, top 10 Huron India under 35 personalities. Okay, so you have Ankush Sachdeva topping the list in media and entertainment industry from ShareChat. Then you have Nitish Sharda from SmartWorks in real estate. Then you have Akshit Jain in consumer goods from Gold Medal Electricals. Then you have Business Say, Chaitanya Rathi, and all these lists are there. You can go through the names under 35 Huron list 2024. And this is for male, but then youngest women list, let's see. Women list is separately there. So from company total, you have Parita Parekh, then Reliance Retail, say Isha Ambani is there. Then you have Ganesh Housing Corporation, say Aneri Patel, right? You can go through all other names. So you know this Huron India under 35 list, it basically recognizes the entrepreneurs, as I told you, billionaires, entrepreneurs from different cities and major startup hubs. So if you see, this is again important information state-wise. Which state leads in the category of maximum new startup entrants? So maximum entrants in the startup hub are from Maharashtra. Remember this. State of Maharashtra, 33 entrants with 33 entrants, and then followed by Karnataka with that of 30 entrants. So top by Maharashtra in terms of new startup entrants and followed by Karnataka. Let's see next one. It is World Talent Ranking 2024. So IMD's recent World Talent Ranking. Into this, Switzerland again excels in your investment development and appeal factors. Okay, so top 10 countries according to World Talent Ranking. Again, Switzerland is at top, as well as it was there in the Global Innovation Index. So Switzerland, third is Singapore, second is Singapore, and then third is Luxembourg, fourth is Sweden, fifth is Denmark. So you see all these Scandinavian countries, they are always in top 10 in all these lists. Their developmental level is actually great, right? So Scandinavian countries like Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, Norway, they are always in top lists, be it any ranking. What about India's ranking in this? So India's ranking in this is 58th globally. Remember, 58th ranking for India. 58th ranking for India. If you see the report section, so according to CRISIL ratings, revenue of the natural diamond polishing industry, it may drop. Why? Because of muted demand in US and China. So therefore, the demand for exports has been less. So there is a fall in exports. Even as price of the diamond, it has dipped, okay? Why? Because you see lab-grown diamonds are gaining the market. So remember, lab-grown diamonds, they are gaining momentum, because of which the polishing industry, diamond polishing industry is going to face low demand. So lab-grown diamonds gaining momentum as compared to the naturally grown. Then next we have, according to World Oil Outlook report, released by OPEC, oil demand in India, which is world's third largest crude importer, is likely to grow by 8 million barrels per day between 2023 and 2050, which is the highest rate of growth globally. So you know India is the third largest crude oil importer, so that also becomes important. Our oil demand is going to grow so much between, say, by 8 million barrels. That is great per day, okay? That is a huge demand. Between 2023-2050, going to be the greatest increase in the oil demand rate worldwide. It is going to cause higher import bill. So you can expect India's current account deficit further widening, right? Next category, awards and books में you have Deepak C. Mehta, chairman and managing director of Deepak Nitrite Limited, has been conferred with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by Indian Chemical Council for his contribution, company's contribution at 59th International Chemical Council Awards held at Mumbai. So remember this fact. Then in the sports category, you have one fact, Indian Grand Prix of the Moto. So MotoGP, India's Moto Grand Prix, it has been postponed to 2026. You all must be knowing that already. It was earlier scheduled to be held in September, but now it will be there held in 2026. Tell me where is it going to be held, Indian MotoGP? Tell me the location, where is it going to be held? Which state? In which state Indian MotoGP is going to be held? Anyone? I'm waiting for your responses. So let's see the appointments. In the appointments, you have next Prime Minister of Japan from Liberal Democratic Party, Shigeru Ishiba. Shigeru Ishiba going to be the next Prime Minister of Japan. Okay, remember the name. Then you have OPPI, Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers of India. It has appointed GlaxoSmith Pharmaceuticals Managing Director Bhushan Akshikar as its president for 2 years. So Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers of India will be presided by Bhushan for 2 years. Then in the conferences category, India will host, remember this is important, World Telecom Standardization Assembly. In Delhi, it is going to be there from 15 to 24th of 4th October. It is held every 4 years. So this time, 15 to 24 October, India is hosting it in New Delhi. Remember, World Telecom Standardization Assembly. Okay. Its outreach programs will also be there in Delhi, Hyderabad, and Bengaluru, and it is being held for the first time in its history of 150 years in India. So this is actually important. Remember, World Telecom Standardization Assembly. Okay. Remember, India is hosting it this year. Then you have Climate and Health Solutions India Conclave, co-hosted by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Asian Development Bank. It was concluded in Delhi. So remember, this Climate and Health Solutions Conclave was held. It was co-hosted by Health Ministry and Asian Development Bank. So remember, which regional bank is associated with this conclave? Asian Development Bank. It was also held in Delhi. Then next you have 11th Engineers Conclave. It was jointly organized by DRDO and Indian National Academy of Engineering in Hyderabad. What was the aim? To deliberate on the manufacturing, additive manufacturing for defense applications, defense manufacturing technologies, etc. So remember where it was held. Just remember the location. It was held in Hyderabad. Then next news which we have is External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has attended first ever joint ministerial meeting of L69 and C10 groupings of nations on the sidelines of the 79th session of United Nations General Assembly. So L69 is a group of basically 32 developing nations. C10 refers to your 10 heads of state and governments of African Union. African Union, you must be knowing it, which has African nations for their cooperation in multilateral development across all fields. So External Affairs Minister from India has attended this first ever joint ministerial meeting of L69 and C10 groupings. In L69, you have developing nations, and this is African Union. So it is a quite important information. Then in the obituary section, you have Dame Smith, the acclaimed British actress, best known for her roles in Harry Potter and Downton Abbey, has passed away at the age of 89. Okay, so Harry Potter, if you have watched the famous series, and she has won 2 Academy Awards for the role. Okay, Academy Awards as well. So just remember this famous personality. And then you have Padma Awardee from 2021, organic farmer at Tekampatti in Coimbatore district, has also passed away at the age of 109 due to age-related problems. So remember this personality who has been one of the Padma Awards recipient. Then important days, let's see what all are there. You have World Tourism Day is commemorated, which is commemorated annually on 27th September. So World Tourism Day celebrated on 27th September, right? To make aware the international community of the importance of tourism industry. Remember the theme here. So theme for 2024 of World Tourism Day, 27 September, was tourism and peace. Tourism and peace, right? So how tourism can actually help establishing peace. Then next you have Directorate General of Quality Assurance under the aegis of Department of Defense Production. Ministry of Defense has celebrated or is celebrating its 68th DGQA Day on 27 September 2024. So this Directorate General of Quality Assurance, it basically covers the range of arms, ammunitions, equipments, stores which are supplied to armed forces, and it oversees their quality. So it monitors, provides quality assurance and quality monitoring to equipments encompassing all these ranges. So 68th DGQA Day celebrated. Next, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, has again celebrated. So you have a lot of Foundations Day, right? So earlier 68th from DGQA, then you have 83rd from CSIR on 26th September. So remember these, DGQA 68th, then you have 83rd of CSIR. On 26th September it is. Since the organization is in new, so you can also try and remember Directorate General of CSIR, Dr. N. Kailas LV. Then you have World Maritime Day celebrated on 26 September. What was the theme? So remember World Maritime Day on 26 September. The theme is important. Navigating the future, safety first. Navigating the future, safety first. Next, World Contraception Day on 26th September, celebrated every year. This year's theme, a choice for all, freedom to plan, power to choose. Then you have World Environment Day, not environment, World Environmental Health Day, right? World Environmental Health Day 2024 falls on 26 September every year. So this year's theme, environmental health, creating resilient communities through disaster risk reduction and climate change mitigation and adaptation. Then you have persons in news. So Bangladesh all-rounder Shakib Al Hasan has announced retirement, okay, from his T20 international series. Then you have West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo has also announced his retirement from all forms of cricket and is going to join IPL from the KKR side as mentor, not as a player, right? So also announced retirement from all forms of cricket, but will be associated with KKR as a mentor. Then you have Rafael Varane, who has won the World Cup with France in 2018, also announces retirement from football. So remember, Rafael has also announced retirement from football. These retirements are there in the news. There are 4 persons are there. So 3 personalities retiring from their respective sports categories. Bangladesh all-rounder Shakib Ali Hassan from cricket. Then you have West Indies all-rounder Dwayne Bravo. Then you have Rafael. Okay. Retiring from football. So these were the personalities in news. I hope all these news are clear to all of you. That was it for 26th and 27th September news analysis. I hope there is no doubt. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Regarding the C, I will go and check. Also regarding the course which you were asking, IRDAI, Shiv Kumar, you want to purchase IRDAI phase 2 course? Will there be any offer in the on Dussehra? So I am not very sure about any offer on Dussehra, but you can do one thing. You can drop a mail on info@crackgradeb.com. You can ask the team via that mail, or you can message Ashok sir regarding this, okay? He will be telling you the best information as of now, or best updates as of now. All right then, thank you so much. I will see you in the next CA session. Till then, have a great day. Thank you. See you in the next class.